What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and this is going to be kind of a two-part video. I'm going to put together just a very small snapshot of a few Star Wars graded trading cards that sold here recently. I've got some PSA cards, some BGS or Beckett Grading Services cards, and then SGC. But the more important thing is I want to talk about a giveaway I'm going to do as part of this video. And that is courtesy of the West Virginia Star Wars Collectors Club. A friend of mine named Sam sent over some PSA and SGC graded 1977 Topps cards that I'm going to show you, and then we'll do a giveaway at the end of this video. So I'm going to parlay the price data into that kind of unboxing of those items, and it was just such a generous thing he did, and I want to pay it forward and give them away to several subscribers as part of this video. So let's do the price data first, and then we'll parlay that into kind of taking a look at these awesome cards that Sam sent over as a channel gift. So the first one is one of the classics, old Goldenrod himself. He is awfully excited to be on that trading card. And this is, of course, the error card number 207 from the original 1977 Topps series of cards. It was graded PSA 8. And I was curious to see what this one would go for. There was another one that sold probably about a month and a half ago that sold for $362 in an auction. Same grade. It was a PSA 8. But it was not nearly quite as centered as this card. This centering on this card was much better. This one's still a little off left to right. But the one that was a PSA 8 that sold for $362, it was even worse off. I think it was top to bottom as well as left to right in terms of the centering being off. So it was a little wonkier, and I think that's why the price was a little bit lower. So this one went up for auction. I was like, I bet it goes for over $400 because the centering on this one looked pretty good overall. It's just very, very minor left to right centering this off. The top to bottom looks pretty good, though. And that makes a difference. That makes a big difference in the price sometimes. So this one sold on October 11th. It was just pulled apparently from an unopened box, and he then sent it into PSA for grading. It got the 8 grade, near mint to mint. And that's about as high as I would ever want to go on this kind of card because it's a very expensive, very desirable card. It sold for $425 plus $350 shipping. So it went a little higher than I expected, but it was a really nice looking card, though, and I can understand why. Next up was a Gem Mint 10, and I've got two of them, same card. One of them sold at auction, and one of them was buy it now. And this is kind of a lesson in being patient, being careful, because I feel like, especially with trading cards and sometimes with comics, although that's not the case lately, because I think most comic sellers know that it's not a very good market right now for sellers for comics. So they're being a little bit more realistic with prices. I do feel like on the trading card side of things, and again, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I just, started kind of watching them. But it does seem like the list prices on a lot of them are way off. And I've got some supporting data on that in this video. But this one sold at auction, and I was thinking it would go for over $300. But it sold for $280, and this is Yoda on Dagobah, obviously a pretty classic photo that was used in the Kenner line. And these Burger King cards were kind of like perforated edges on one side. And that one was a Gem Mint 10. So really nice example. But that one did sell at auction for $280. And then right after that, this one sold. It was also a Gem Mint 10, exact same card. That one sold for $500. So this was a case of an impatient buyer. I think if you find something like this, again, it is a Gem Mint 10, so I can't imagine there's a lot of them. And even right here in the auction title, it says population 9. So there's only 9 Gem Mint 10s out there. And if you've got deep pockets and you don't particularly care about overpaying a little bit, then have at it. Obviously, when there's only 9 that exist in the PSA population report, that one at auction obviously was a pretty good deal relative to this one that sold for $500. So, but I think especially for modern cards, like Topps Living Set or some of these chrome and sapphire cards, things like that, don't overpay for them because there's a lot of them and they're all in high grade for the most part because they're so new. So I've learned my lesson there to just wait for an auction because more likely than not for some of those modern cards, unless they're like one-of-one refractors where there's only one made, I think that you can probably just be patient and wait for an auction. Here was another really cool one. Now this was not really graded, but it was authenticated by Beckett's Grading Services. They authenticated the autograph on this, and this is a 1980 Starfile Official Business Darth Vader, and it's got James Earl Jones's signature, and that's always been known to be a very expensive signature. He doesn't sign a lot of stuff. And as a result, you got to pay a lot of money for it. Now, Beckett's only authenticated the autograph. They did not grade the card quality or anything like that. You can get them dual graded where they grade the quality of the signature, in which case this signature probably would not have gotten a very high grade for the autograph grading, because it's so blotchy and kind of like not very clear. You know, there's kind of some ink spots missing, so it probably would have gotten like a 6 or a 7 for the autograph. The card itself was also kind of rough, but you can do what's called dual grading, and I covered this in my unboxing video with my first PSA submissions, or you can just get it authenticated, which is the case on this one. And I think for this one, given how rough the card was, there's lots of edge wear, and given how rough the signature was, I think that by getting it authenticated was probably the right call by whoever submitted this. There's no point in getting it graded because it would have been like, you know, a 5 or a 6 grade. So $400 still took that home because James Earl Jones does not sign a lot of stuff. But it looks really nice. I want this Starfile official business card for Boba Fett. That's his rookie card. That's one I really would like to get. But anyway, here's another one. This is a customizable card game, Star Wars Endor card. And I don't like how Beckett labeled this. They just say Star Wars Endor. But this is a CCG card. This is kind of a, you know, a Pokemon style card. It's a very specific card lines. Instead of just saying Star Wars Endor, it really should say Star Wars CCG Endor. But anyway, Wicket Warwick Davis signed this one, and the autograph was the only thing signed on this one. And I don't know how they grade autographs other than looking for paint splotches or how clear it is, but they gave it an 8 for whatever that's worth. That one sold for 299 Canadian dollars or 216 US dollars. Let's dig into some modern cards. One more autograph. We've got Ashley Eckstein's Ahsoka Tano card, Gem Mint 10 Rainbow Foil. And here is the back of the card. This is one of 50. If you look in the upper right-hand corner on the back, it says number 5 of 50. So there are only 50 of these made where she signed this card. So this is a case of you better pay up because there's only 50 of them out there in existence, much less there's even fewer of those that are graded Gem Mint 10 by PSA. So I can't imagine, yeah, so this is a population 1, as it says right here. So this is the only one that's been graded of those 50 by PSA, and it got the 10 grade. So it got a big dollar. You know, it's a fairly new card. It's only about a year old, but it got $152.50 for it because, you know, it was signed, and it's a 1 of 50 card, and it's 1 of 1 in the population report, and it's Gem Mint 10. So you can understand why it went for so much money. I do have an SGC card here. This one was a 9.5 graded Topps Chrome Galaxy. This is a red refractor of General Grievous, and as it says up there on the label, 2/5, that just means that this is number 2 of the 5 that were made. So as you can see on the back of this photo here, there's only 5 of these cards that exist, and this is number 2 in that series, and it was graded SGC 9.5. Now the list price was $2,500, and again, this is kind of going back to the premise at the beginning of this video, is don't look at those list prices thinking that that's market value, because this one did sell for $600, and we documented one in my last market update where it was like a Mark Hamill card that sold for about 30% of the list price on it. So you just never know what it's going to get. But here was another one that kind of reminded me of the one I just got back in my latest submission, but this is a foil Star Wars Galaxy Wave Refractor. This is number 78 of 99. So this is the Slave one, and this is very similar. It's kind of in style to the foil CCG card I just got back from PSA. But this is 1 of 99 that exists, and it was a SGC 10, and it sold for $66. So I think that was a pretty good deal there for, you know, a card where only 99 of them exist, and it's a, you know, pretty great looking card with the Slave one on there. I'm going to finish this off before we dig into the unboxing with some top Star Wars living cards. And, you know, what I found with the living cards, I've got 4 of them graded Gem Mint 10. But what I found is that the longer it goes on, it seems like the prices keep dropping. This used to go for like $250. This is the Darth Vader. This is number 1 in the series. So very desirable card. And there was only $39.09 printed. But this used to go for $250. This one sold in an auction for $102.50. So this is a case where I think that as more and more people start seeing these high prices for the Star Wars living set, even though these only came out, you know, anywhere from 2019 to they're still being printed right now, you know, that people are like, wow, that one got $250. I better send in my 10 that exists. And then as those 10 hit the market, you know, supply and demand, right? So the price drops accordingly. So You know, it's just interesting to see how the prices do drop. Here's another example of that phenomenon. Sabine Wren. I actually bid on this one, but I lost out. This one was going for $186 earlier this summer. When you combine the market drop in collectibles, combined with more people seeing that $186 number and submitting all of theirs for grading, well, now they're selling for 76 bucks. So this is one that's on my short list. You know, I did have the Clone Wars Cad Bane on my short list, and I did get that one. So I'm pretty happy to get that one. I've got Cad Bane, the Mandalorian. I've got Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian, Rosario Dawson's version of Ahsoka Tano. And I've already forgotten the last. Oh, it was Bo-Katan from the Clone Wars. So I've got 4 of them, but this is on my short list. But now that they're 76 bucks, I can afford that a lot more than the $186 that this one was going for this summer. Here's another pretty good deal. Grand Moff Tarkin. That one sold for 43 bucks. I mean, that's a great price given that, you know, it can cost anywhere from $18 to $30 to grade this card, depending on whether you send in a bulk submission or not to PSA. So pretty great looking card. It doesn't quite look like Peter Cushing, but close enough. And I just kind of like the stylized style of these. It really reminds me a little bit of the 1977 series. And then finally we got Black Chrysanthemum. That one sold for $71. That's a great card. That's kind of on my short list too. I like that card a lot, and I think that perfectly kind of captures his personality. He's got the scars on his head. Pretty great looking card there. But you know, I feel like the Living Series is, you know, I don't ever expect them to be like massive value, you know, go up in value a lot. But I just think that they're kind of a fun line to collect, and they kind of have a nice style to them, in my opinion. All right, that's enough talk from me. Let's dig into the awesome gifts from Sam over at the West Virginia Star Wars Collectors Club, and let's do a giveaway. So here is everything that Sam from the West Virginia Star Wars Collectors Club sent me. Plus, I've got some extras for you. So I want to show you first what Sam sent. First, this is really cool. This is like a patch, and this shows R2-D2 doing like his hologram, but instead of Princess Leia pleading for Obi-Wan Kenobi's help, it's got a hologram of the state of West Virginia. So that's a really cool patch right there. I like that logo design. Really great job there. Let's dig into the cards that Sam sent. And this is the first time I've ever held SGC graded cards in my hand. So first off, we've got C-3PO and R2-D2. And this is graded 7.5 by SGC, which is a near mint plus. Now they do it a little bit different than PSA. And I'm going to pull up the exact same card from PSA so you can see how different the cases are. PSA elects to go with kind of a frosted case around the edges, and they have like a little, you know, barcode there and a very simple label. And then on the back, it's got the QC code, or whatever you call the QR code, along with PSA's logo. SGC, it's got kind of a foam insert that holds the card in place. So here's the back of it, SGC. I tend to prefer PSA graded cards. I think it looks a little bit cleaner, but it's, you know, it's a nice case. There are some people that just swear by SGC. They only send their items to SGC. BGS, SGC, and PSA obviously are the big three, like we talked about already. From what I've gathered, just on my limited, when I say limited, I mean very limited knowledge, it seems like SGC probably grades the most lenient. And then PSA would be second most lenient, and then by far the strictest would be BGS, Beckett Grading Services. They are very strict. It's, you know, they have subscores for theirs, whereas SGC and PSA only have a single score going from 1 to 10. So very difficult to get a BGS 10 with all 10 subgrades. That's like a god level card. Very difficult to do. And I've actually only seen pictures of one, so it's just not easy to do. But this one was graded 7.5, and then here's an R2. That one is graded 7. So really nice items there. So near mint, and then near mint plus would be 7.5. I would assume 8 would be near mint plus / mint. Very similar to what PSA does. And so here's the second set of cards. Again, it's the same card, C-3PO and R2-D2. That's graded 6, which is excellent to mint. And then the little droid, R2-D2, that one's graded 6. So he sent 5 cards altogether, 2 C-3PO / R2s, and then 3 R2s. And so I'm going to do a giveaway. And so what we're going to do is the usual kind of the usual method, right? And that would be for you guys to like the video, make sure you are a subscriber to the channel, and then leave a comment or a question in the comments, and then I'll draw some winners. I'm probably going to do 3 because I've got enough here for at least 2 winners, and then I'm going to throw in some other cards that I'm going to include as part of the transaction or part of the giveaway. And so this is a Star Wars customizable card game Reflections foil for Han Solo. Now, I purchased a high-grade Han Solo in a PSA 9. This one's a PSA 7 near mint. But as part of another transaction, this gentleman was feeling bad about his delayed shipping time, which I didn't care about at all because he was going through Hurricane Ian down in Florida. But for whatever reason, he sent me this one as a gift. So it was really nice of Kyle, and I believe his name's Kyle. And so I want to pass this along to a subscriber. So that's a really nice card. Since I've already got it in a PSA 9, I don't need 2. And it's great foil card bag. This is from the first Reflections. There's Reflections 1, 2, and 3. In 2000 is when these cards came out. And they're basically reprints of the Star Wars Premier line. I'm sure I'm going to mangle this knowledge here. But 1995, 1996, Decipher came out with some cards that were non-foil. Well, the Reflections 1 through 3 took a lot of those earlier cards and then made them like foils that were kind of pack-ins. They were rare pack-ins on the Reflections packs. And then I got this one back, as you guys already remember, in my last PSA unboxing. I got this Dengar that is also a Reflections foil. So I think these two would go nicely together. They're both graded PSA 7, and they're both foils. So I think that would be a nice gift. And then Darth Grader over on YouTube, he sent me this one as part of another transaction as a gift. This is an IG-88 foil ungraded. So I've got a nice protective case there, as well as a penny sleeve for it. And I've already got this one actually in a PSA 10. So I don't need 2 of them again. So I'm going to contribute 3 more cards to this giveaway. So we're going to do at least 3 winners. I haven't decided if we're going to do 4. I might do 4 winners. And again, just be a subscriber, like the video, and leave a comment, and you will automatically be entered to win. I'll use the comment picker. I'll ship them anywhere in the world at my expense, and I'll announce the winners at some point in the next week or so. That's all I really had for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.